Here we go, Vision Realty Group, Austin, Texas. All right, let's jump in on a Austin, Texas real estate market report starting now. All right, since the beginning of the new year, things have been cray-cray. Peaking in May, the market pinnacled in value, and we hit the top of the market. It was just absolute madness as values continued to rise and rise and rise and rise. Now, since May, Travis and Williamson County, the greater Austin, Texas main counties, have experienced dramatic reductions in value. And so we've seen price depreciation in chunks of 20 and 30,000, as much as 50,000 in Travis County, and Williamson County, the more rural part of Austin, experiencing chunks of 10, 15, and 20,000 over the last several months. So what's going on now? Where are we going? Now, for the month of October, it looks like the market stabilized a bit. So from September to October, the median price point in Travis County has evened out right around 545,000. Now that's down 1%. So, which, while that is a reduction in value, that's certainly some stabilization for now from the previous months where we've experienced 4, 5, 6, 7, 10% appreciation over the last several months. So getting just 1% depreciation over 1 month is, in my eyes, somewhat of a stabilization. We'll talk towards the end of the video here where we think the market's going, so stay tuned. And hey, by the way, subscribe, share, and stay tuned, because that allows me to stay motivated to continue to bring you guys valuable information for what's going on in the Austin, Texas area, and I'll bring tips and tricks and strategies as a buyer and seller moving into these winter months for Austin, Texas homeowners who want to sell or consider buyers who want to consider to buy. Okay, so Williamson County actually experienced a 1% uptick in value. Don't know how that happened, but it did. We experienced overall the median price point at 460,000 in Williamson County. That's up 1% month over month from September to October. Now, that is an added piece of data in my mind that causes me to believe that the values have stabilized for now. All right, so let's look at some other data that's occurred over the last couple of months. September, we had approximately 3,200 sales in the greater Austin, Texas area. For October, 2,200. And as the 11/21, had to peek at what date it was, we're right around just under 1,000 sales for the month. And we could experience a late month rally, which does happen. A lot of properties close in the latter part of the month. We have Thanksgiving and the holiday here, so we could quite conceivably be around 1,500 homes sold for the month of November. Now, I don't know that, but we're tracking a number around that number, which would be severely much lower than the October number. Now, remember, property home closings for the winter months are lower. And we haven't seen closings this low in number, volume, for quite some time. So again, more trending towards the market continuing to slow down. Again, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video as far as where I think that might be going. Now, new listings are down a couple hundred in each county, and active listings are right about even. We've been even for listings for a couple months now, hanging at just over 11,000 homes on the market, which is a little surprising to me. I would have thought that number would have continued to increase, but we've seen, while people have been reluctant to come to market, new listings down in both counties. We've seen a high number of properties coming off the market, withdrawn listings, property where the homeowner had the property on the market, and decided to take it off the market before the contract expired. Now we're also seeing expired listings, listings where they have a term for the property being for sale, meaning they signed a listing contract for 3 months, for 6 months, and the term of that contract has expired, and so the contract has expired, and so the property automatically comes off the market. Now we're only seeing about 5 or 6 of those a day. A high would be 10, and for withdrawals, people intentionally taking their property off the market before the contract expires is as upwards of 40 to 50 a day. A low amount would be, around the 20, 25 mark, but we're pretty regularly seeing 30, 40 properties come off the market a day, and as high as 50 properties come off the market a day. And so I think those dynamics have caused some equilibrium where we're not seeing a terrible amount of homes coming onto the market. We're seeing more people take their properties off the market, and then a lot of properties just sitting. Days on market is mounting, and we saw that as low as just a couple of weeks towards the beginning of this year, and now we're seeing it move towards 4 months, which would be a standard equalized, balanced market. You're hearing that a lot these days, that term balanced. And so we're seeing this market even out here and really move in favor of buyers. Okay, so with that, let's talk about where the market's going. So with all of these statistics and numbers showing us that the market is likely to continue to decline. Now, interest rates have been up and up over the last several months, and somehow they've come down over the last couple weeks. We've actually gotten as low as mid-6s for interest rates, which has caused an uptick in activity for people getting a little excited to lock in lower rates from their high, well over 7%. Now, the Feds are meeting in December, and they're talking about a 0.5% raise in borrowing rates, which again are not a direct correlation in lending rates. So they don't directly correlate, but they often orchestrate. So they're often behaving similarly to that. So we can absolutely believe that interest rates probably are going to uptick a little bit. We're not quite sure just how far up they'd go. So that combined with people still having apprehension and anxiety around the market, that there's likely to still be some depreciation. So for people considering to wait until after the new year that property values could be better, or until the spring, look, I don't see that happening. I see at best some evening of the market, as we've seen right now, but with interest rates expected to rise a little bit, with people's expected apprehension and anxiety around the market, demand going down. Look, it's happening right now. I just quoted a statistic to you earlier where the inventory was, or the homes sold were 3,200 in September, October 2,200, November we're ticking 1,500. Demand's going down. Now, the season is part of that, but as I again mentioned prior, we're below any of the more recent years' numbers in regards to closed sales. So what's that going to mean? Even with the inventory hanging around 4 months and stabilizing over the last couple months, not continuing to rise to inflated numbers for now, I think it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens in December. December's a pretty slow month. January's like the slowest month for activity, to see what happens over the next 60 days in regards to inventory and how that may reflect continued buyer apprehension and anxiety, which has lower demand. So supply could nudge upwards. Demand's definitely continuing to nudge downwards. Some more depreciation on the way. So the question is, how much depreciation? Now look, I can't rub that crystal ball, but we're seeing trending numbers in regards to the fact that there's that numbers are pointing towards continuing softening. Okay, so let me wrap it up. Should you wait till after the new year? No. Should you wait till spring? No. I don't think things are going to be better. I really truly believe that at best we'll be experiencing the end of a stabilization of the market and the market beginning to warm up again. If the Feds can come back to lowering rates, we don't know that when that'll happen, but we have seen some indication that when Feds lower, that when the interest rates come down a little bit, even a half point over these last couple weeks of buyer excitement, the number of showings increasing, the amount of activity increasing. And so even just a little nudge could help the market. And so we don't know what will happen in the coming months. But again, we do know that numbers are trending, especially in the 2 slowest months of the year, with February being the 3rd slowest month, that the activity's not going to increase. The number of listings may increase some because we've seen some stabilization, but we're moving into the 3 slowest months. So to guesstimate that the inventory could increase a little bit more is probable. We're seeing that for sure buyer demand is coming down, so the depreciation is likely. And again, if you're waiting until the new year or the spring, at best the market will have stabilized and we'll be coming out of that, but we're not going to make up the 20% or so of depreciation that we've lost across Travis and Williamson County over the next couple months. If anything, we're going to lose a little bit more. At best, we're going to stabilize and hang in this amount of depreciation that we've experienced since May, 15 to 20% at a minimum, because we've already experienced that. And so waiting is not an option if you have to sell. If you really need to sell, the coming months are not going to be better. Now, if you can hold on to your property as a rental and you have cash flow over the next 3 or 4 years, do that. If you don't have to sell and it's more of a convenience or lifestyle choice and you can deal with what's going on as a seller, do that. Stay. Don't do anything right now. Now, as a buyer, the question is, should I wait? Now, that's a tricky one because it depends. Could interest rates, seeing some fluctuation in interest rates is motivation to understand, well, maybe I do want to take advantage of an interest rate that nudges downward. The interest rates are likely to nudge upward. So when do I buy? The answer is when the time's right for you. So when the time's right for you to consider to buy, because if you're looking to flip a property, well, look, then maybe this is not the time to do that. If you're looking to stay in a property long term, then look, it's probably the time to do that, because trying to time the market causes a whole heck of a lot of losers, people who don't win in the market because they're trying to time the market, whether it's stocks or the real estate market. There's a whole mess of people that lose trying to time the market versus getting in when it makes sense for them and when they can afford it. Because what's going on right now is new home builders are offering incentives like properties standing inventory at 3 or 4%. I've seen multiple new home builders offer 5% for new builds. Sellers the days on market is racking, and so that's a great time to be able to get a seller to make a contribution of $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000 towards your rate buy down, a permanent fixed rate buy down, or a scaling rate buy down. Contact me to find out what that means, so that you can get a lower interest rate and make it more affordable. Now, you can negotiate on top of that, people lowering their price point. Now, there's lots of different ways to be able to negotiate in this market and make it a win for you if you're a buyer. But again, having that conversation with a professional who can give you some more insight on whether or not that makes sense for you so that you can make a decision that's best for you is a conversation needed. So reach out to your professional or a local real estate expert who can go over the pros and cons of what's going on in the market, because each scenario is different unto you. So hey, your vision, our mission, to be able to understand what's going on so that we can serve you at a higher level and continue to bring value into your life in the Austin real estate market world. Stay tuned.